Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is Jason Runyon with the National Weather Service. I have 2 p.m., so we'll go ahead and get started. Thanks for joining us today as we go through this webinar on our heavy rainfall and flooding potential tonight through early Friday morning. Just a reminder, if you're new to these webinars, all lines are muted right now. We are recording this presentation. If you do have any questions that you would like to ask, you can utilize the questions box feature within GoToWebinar. Just type a question into that box, and at the end of the webinar, I'll go ahead and go through any questions that you've submitted. So it's just some updates since our situational report that we sent out yesterday. We have increased our flood watch slightly in aerial coverage, and we have increased our risk for excessive rainfall across portions of the Western Hill Country to the Rio Grande, now a level 3 out of 4 risk, and I'll show you that here on a map shortly. Some of the just key points I want to go over before we get started. We are expecting multiple rounds of showers and storms late tonight and into Thursday, mainly across the Western Hill Country and Southern Edwards Plateau region and along the Rio Grande. The I-35 corridor, while they may see some showers overnight and Thursday, the heavy rainfall potential should stay west of the I-35 corridor tonight and through much of the day on Thursday. However, the threat does shift eastward late Thursday afternoon and Thursday night into the Eastern Hill Country and the I-35 corridor. We do have a flood watch that is in effect through much of the I-35 corridor and Hill Country over to the Rio Grande. That is in effect through 6 a.m. on Friday. We are really starting to hone in on the greatest threat of where we're going to see heavier rainfall and flooding. A lot of our models this morning are really starting to converge on a scenario somewhere across the Western Hill Country or Southern Edwards Plateau or Rio Grande region for our greatest threat for life-threatening flooding. It is an increasing threat, as I mentioned. We are up to a level 3 out of 4 risk now, and so there's growing concerns across this region that I'll show you here shortly. Flash flooding is the primary threat here with this weather system, along with river flooding. We are watching another system sometime coming across Texas in this region late Sunday night and into through Tuesday that could bring another potential for some heavier rainfall, although the confidence with this system is pretty low at the moment. So just currently right now, we're watching out to the west, upper level low pressure system that's out across the desert southwest that's moving eastwards towards Texas. A lot of moisture associated with this system. We're unusually warm and moist for this time of year, and that's going to lead to the development of some showers and storms late this evening and overnight out towards the Rio Grande. Currently on radar, there's not much going on across Texas, but that will change as we get into the overnight hours. So I want to show you just one run of one model, just to give you just a general idea. Don't focus too much on the exact time or location of any one individual storm, but just the general trends with this. So as we get into the late evening hours, say 10 a.m. to midnight, we're going to start watching out towards the Rio Grande, out towards Del Rio, out to Rock Springs for the development of some showers and storms. These are going to persist in multiple rounds through the overnight hours and into the morning hours on Thursday across this Western Hill Country region into the Edwards Plateau and Rio Grande region. Farther east, although we will have some isolated showers, as I mentioned, overnight and through the day on Thursday across the I-35 corridor, that's not really our main focus overnight and into tomorrow morning for heavy rainfall and flooding potential. It's out west in the Western Hill Country and over to the Rio Grande. As we look at Thursday, you'll see that the focus really doesn't shift too much. Again, multiple rounds of showers and storms, somewhere across those western areas, the Western Hill Country over to the Rio Grande. I just want to point out that this is not going to be like our October system that we had, our last flood watch we had on October 24th, or is one line of storms that came through. This is going to be multiple rounds of storms and the potential for training of storms out across our western areas. And then as we look into late Thursday afternoon, especially Thursday night, you'll see the focus starts to shift eastward finally into the Eastern Hill Country and the I-35 corridor. Again, don't focus on any one individual storm or location. This could be slightly adjusted depending on what exactly happens, but the general trend is the system moving eastward into the I-35 corridor and northeastward as we get into the overnight hours Thursday night into early Friday morning. So what about rainfall amounts? So this represents some of our high resolution model guidance that's now picking up to it. And as I mentioned, we're really starting to focus the scenario in here out west. And this is the most likely rainfall amounts that we're looking at. Anywhere from 2 to 5 inches in that pink box from the Rio Grande near Del Rio northeastward through Kinney, Edwards, Real, and into western Kerr County from tonight through 6 a.m. on Friday. Again, the most likely scenario. Farther east, 1 to 2 inch rainfall amounts, maybe some isolated higher pockets of around 3 inches through the eastern hill country and over towards Austin. And then there will be some locations that receive less than 1 inch of rainfall with this, the further south and east you go towards San Antonio and southeastward into the coastal plains. Now, we do want to mention some of the reasonable worst case scenarios that we are looking at. This represents, out of those high resolution models, a reasonable worst case scenario of higher amounts in that pink shaded box there of 6 to 8 inches, anywhere from southern Valverde County near Del Rio through Kinney, Edwards, Real, northwestern Uvalde, and then over into western Kerr. All these counties that I've mentioned are in play for a reasonable worst case scenario of 6 to 8 inches of rainfall through Thursday night. So we really need to pay attention across this area for flash flooding and potential river responses through Thursday night. As far as what that rainfall will do with respect to flash flooding, this is from our Weather Prediction Center, their excessive rainfall outlook. They have raised the risk from a level 2 out of 4 to now a level 3 out of 4 risk, a moderate risk for excessive rainfall that could lead to flash flooding anywhere in that red shaded region that you see, the areas that I've been mentioning several times now, Del Rio, northeastward up through Edwards, Real, and western Kerr County, all in play for a level 3 out of 4 risk for excessive rainfall that could lead to flash flooding beginning late tonight through the day on Thursday. And then as I mentioned, that threat begins to shift off to the east towards the eastern hill country in the I-35 corridor Thursday night, where we have a level 1 to 2 out of 4 risk for excessive rainfall that could lead to flash flooding, those areas that you see shaded in green and yellow. So we do have a flood watch. We expanded it slightly from what we had yesterday. While we are honing in more on those western counties for the greatest potential to see those 6 to 8 inch amounts, we are, out of an abundance of caution, just leaving the I-35 corridor in the flood watch at the moment. You know, these things can change, and we just want to be very cautious here as we go into the Thursday and Thursday night time frame for the I-35 corridor. But the highest threat, as I mentioned, is those western counties, the area that is most likely to see those isolated stripes of 6 to 8 inches of rainfall. The flood watch, again, is in effect tonight, beginning at midnight through 6 a.m. on Friday. Finally, I don't want to not mention this actual severe weather risk with this. There is a 1 out of 5 risk for severe storms, including an isolated tornado risk, a 2% chance within 25 miles of a point anywhere in that green shaded region tonight and into Thursday morning, along with a isolated large hail risk. As we get into Thursday afternoon and Thursday night, that severe weather threat shifts more eastward, with the heavy rainfall threat into the eastern hill country and portions of the I-35 corridor from the north side of San Antonio up through the Austin metro area. So I did not want to go through this webinar without not mentioning that, but again, the main message and the main threat that we want to pay attention for and be weather aware for is the heavy rainfall and potential for flooding. And finally, I mentioned it on the key messages on the opening slide there. We are watching another system sometime late Sunday through Monday night or Tuesday. There's a lot of uncertainty with this system. if everything comes together and we do get the potential for some heavy rainfall, we'll have to watch that closely, because the rainfall that we get tonight and into Friday morning could prime the soils and the conditions for us, such that it won't take as much rainfall as we get into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday to cause some issues as far as flooding goes. Just real quick, the 7-day kind of outlook. The temperatures, we've been in this unusually warm spell here the last week. The temperatures do trend back down towards normals for this time of year as we get into the weekend and into the early to middle portion of next week, with highs in the 70s and even some upper 60s and lows in the upper 40s and 50s as we get into next week. Rainfall potential, again, high rainfall chances tonight through Friday morning, maybe a break, but not completely going dry here Saturday. Some low chances for some showers Saturday. And then we'll watch for that Sunday through Monday night system closely as we get more confidence in that. So just to summarize, multiple rounds of showers and storms. Again, it's not going to be one line that quickly moves through the area. Late tonight through Thursday, focusing Western Hill Country, Southern Edwards Plateau, and Rio Grande. And then that threat shifts into the Eastern Hill Country and I-35 corridor tomorrow night. Flood watch in effect through 6 a.m. The greatest threat for the life-threatening flooding that we're seeing at this time is somewhere from the Rio Grande, Southern Edwards Plateau, Western Hill Country. So Valverde County, again, up through Edwards, Real, portions of Kerr County. That's our greatest threat for flash flooding and river flooding potential. So I'll pause here for any questions you may have. Again, you can utilize that questions box within GoToWebinar, and I'll give you a few seconds to type any questions. A reminder, we were recording this. We'll be sending out the slides later in an email and a PDF to you. We are looking at potentially scheduling another webinar for tomorrow afternoon, same time, probably 2 p.m. So be on the lookout for an invitation for that webinar. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to put that into the questions box within GoToWebinar. Okay, first question, any hail expected in the Del Rio area? Yes, we are in a level 1 out of 5 risk for hail tonight and into Thursday for the Rio Grande, including Del Rio. A low probability for that threat for large hail, greater than quarter size, but the main risk and threat out along the Rio Grande is flash flooding. Next question, to recap, San Antonio is in the clear until Thursday evening into Friday. Is that correct? As far as a flood threat, if San Antonio were to see it, that is correct. It would be most likely to occur Thursday night, Thursday evening into the overnight hours if we were to see flooding. That doesn't mean we won't have any showers around the region tonight and into tomorrow. It's just a heavy rainfall threat would most likely be tomorrow night for the I-35 corridor, including San Antonio. I'll give it about another 30 seconds for any other questions you may have. All right, seeing no other questions, just a reminder, for those that are on NWS chat with us, follow us for updates tonight and through the day tomorrow and tomorrow night. If you don't have an NWS chat account, you can follow us on social media, or please feel free to reach out to us at the number you see on the screen. Again, thank you for your time, and look for a copy of this webinar coming shortly in your email. Thank you. Have a great day.